Hello everyone, my name is Simran Chaudhary and I welcome you all on behalf of Voice of Healthcare in an exclusive interview about infertility awareness on National Infertility Awareness Week with Dr. Shweta Mittal, who is the Secretary General of IFS Society, Co-Director, Senior Consultant, Center of IVF, Sir Gangaram Hospital. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Hello. So it's a very important week. I feel that it's very important that we from Indian Fertility Society should give the right message, and it should reach, I think, the masses. That is very important.
Yes, ma'am. And ma'am, it's an honor to have you with us on this special occasion. We all are together to spread as much as awareness we all can.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ma'am, without delaying anything, I would just shoot up all the questions I have in my mind. So my first question would be, as the Secretary General of Indian Fertility Society, could you please share with our audience a brief mission and objective of IFS?
So we have taken over, Indian Fertility Society, as I've taken over as Secretary General recently. It's a very old society and a very strong society in India. Our mission for the next 2 years would be that we want to reach out to the masses, that is through a lot of reach out programs. We want to train our very young Turks, which are budding IVF specialists, people in reproductive medicine. We also want to train a lot of nurses and at peripheral health center. So because the education will start from the grassroots. So if our grassroots is educated, then we expect that we will be seeing a lot of awareness, a lot of myths which prevail when it comes to infertility. We will be able to tackle it.
Yes, ma'am. And I think, ma'am, this is very right, because like you said, targeting the roots, that will become future.
Yes.
And that will actually eventually help the public out there, the masses, as things are changing rapidly. So that will actually help the society.
Yes, I absolutely believe.
Ma'am, the thing which we are doing, basically a collaboration, the collaboration Voice of Healthcare and the IFS Society, Indian Fertility Society, and basically to amplify this message as much as we can, to create the awareness, to break the stigma, to widespread this message what we are advocating. So how do you think such collaboration can help into to create a supportive community out there and a safe space for individuals and for couples who are basically going through this and can open up with their experiences?
So as far as I have understood Voice of Healthcare, it's an NGO. And what happens is that I attended the last program and I was a part of moderating a panel, and it was very well attended. So since you all are connected in it's like a vertical where a lot of healthcare professionals are connected to you. Also you have a lot of government sector coming, so it's a good forum where a private sector and a public sector can get together, and whatever we want to communicate or whatever we want to do to for our society, I think VOH can be a good platform, because we would be having a lot of government officials coming, so there could be collaborations. Reaching a grassroots level is very easy to say, but it is difficult to happen unless and until we have a lot of support system. So maybe you could be like a medium where we are able to connect to a lot of people and healthcare system.
You said it very right, that Voice of Healthcare is actually acting as a medium, a bridge kind of thing, which is bridging the gap between the masses and from the experts, with the experts, that experts' advice can reach to the masses, the people who are actually suffering through it, and most importantly the rural areas which actually needs it and they do not have much of the facilities available to them.
Yes, that's true, because still 60% of our population resides in rural areas, and all said and done, the access to medical facility is way less than urban population.
Yes, ma'am, and we all are doing this just to make our India happy and healthy.
Yes, absolutely.
Ma'am, like we just talked about breaking a stigma and creating a safe space for couples who are facing this infertility. So I think infertility is often surrounded by stigmas and misconceptions that this can only happen to if you do this or that and stuff like this. So how can we collectively break the stigma and encourage people to open up about their experiences, what they're going through, and bridge a platform, make a society where it is not judging them but giving them a solution provider society. And what role do you believe education and awareness campaigns can play in changing the societal perceptions and creating an open dialogue about infertility?
So I think, you know, there are still a lot of misconceptions. The most common, which is still there in many couples or families, is that if a couple is not able to bear a child, have a child, then the whole blame goes to the female partner, and which is so untrue. We know that about 50% of the contribution comes from male infertility. Now these kind of myths you can only overcome if you are educating, you know, the masses, families, and this education has to start right from childhood. I think the moment, now this is a government initiative, I can see that there is a change, that even when my son was doing his biology, you know, chapters in his class 10th, and there's so much on reproduction and there's so much written on contraception, there's also even there's a mention of infertility. So I think, you know, if you educate your younger population, then they will become more sensible adults. So maybe through a lot of mass education programs, what we are doing today, how when we reach the peripheral health centers, we can reach the gram panchayats, we can, you know, this is the only way where we can reach the population, and through government initiatives, that we will be able to, you know, overcome myths when it comes to infertility.
Yes, ma'am, you said it right. And government and the private sectors and the NGOs are working together to actually make this happen, and that's why we are targeting such weeks, that is the National Infertility Awareness Week, and
Yes.
we are doing one of the campaigns to aware public about it.
Yes.
Ma'am, we were talking about infertility, but we have seen a rise in infertility rates, especially in India, because according to a recent study of Lancet Journal, that nearly 6.2, the fertility rate dropped from nearly 6.2 in 1950 to just under 2 in 2021, and is projected to decrease this in future as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I would like you to please shed some light on this, and are there any specific trends or patterns that you have observed which contributes to this?
So, you know, yes, there could be an increase in infertility, and if we categorize our population in rural areas, maybe the sexually transmitted infections, any kind of, you know, infections could be on the rise. In rural population also, we see a lot of BD smokers in women, and you know, smoking is quite common in urban population in young females of reproductive age group. That could be a contributory factor. Sexually transmitted infections could also be prevailing in our urban population, causing infertility. And some things which are so voluntary, like career oriented women, nowadays we see that all the girls get into, you know, some kind of a career. So building up a career and finding stability in your job, I think you know, defers childbearing, defers the thought process of getting married. So that is happening in urban population, and this could be contributing. Also, some genetic and environmental factors could be prevailing. We have pollutions, we have a lot of toxic substances. There could be some epigenetic changes happening over a period of generations, which will be responsible for infertility. So we could be dealing with multiple factors.
And ma'am, specifically like you mentioned about the smoking in urban and rural areas,
Yeah.
the BDs and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And I think the kind of life we are living in urban areas, the kind of food
we
habits,
take,
sleep
yes.
activities, and I think most importantly, if we are not even taking consuming, doing the smoking and stuff, the quality of food, I believe, has degraded a bit, which our mothers used to intake, and now we are
Yes,
taking.
possibly, yes. And a lot of white flour has come in the food, which was not there in the earlier generations. So that is leading to obesity and obesity related problems.
Yes, ma'am. And if I will talk about what can a person do to resolve these things, or
See,
how can
the
they avoid
best reproductive age group is still, you know, in, I would say, early 20s to early 30s. So it's very important for females to understand. Even the fertility problems are more in men, especially when they are more than 40. So choosing a right lifestyle is a personal choice, and personal awareness and motivation can improve it. So not just running after your professional life all the time, I think looking into your personal self is also very important. And early consultations, going to the right place, having the right kind of advice is also important, because sometimes I get these girls staying together and they all come for their egg preservation because one is getting it done, the other wants to get it done, and we always counsel them that okay, this is a good method because you're not able to find your partner so soon. However, it is not a guarantee to fertility. It's not like you have frozen your oocytes and then you are done with your fertility, or you think that, oh, I don't want to look for a partner. So I think the mindset has to change.
Yes, ma'am. Things would work or things would not work, but there's no guarantee to it. Ma'am, other thing is, Indian Fertility Society would have been taken few initiatives or planning to take it. So could you share some of the programs that has launched or plans that it would launch in the near future to support individuals and couples struggling with the infertility issue?
So there are a lot of programs which they launch, even the government launches, and our government hospitals now, even in public sector, ART services are getting available, but they are very few. Still, if I look at IVF services, they are more in the private sector. So there are no as such national programs how we have for universal vaccination for children. We don't have that kind of a program, but WHO takes a lot of initiative, UNICEF takes a lot of initiative, even in public sector there are programs, and this is how even in private sector we do a lot of charity work. So I think it keeps going on, and then creating more awareness is something which would be more beneficial. And it's not just awareness, I think getting the facilities. So it's not we are looking at only cosmopolitan cities, even two-tier cities should have facilities. And if it comes in public sector, it would be more beneficial.
You said it right, ma'am. The initiatives are taking place and will take place.
Yes.
to work this out. Now, lastly, to conclude our discussion which we just had, would you like to give us a parting message to our audience, especially those who are dealing with infertility, going through it, experiencing it every day, or bearing so much on their mind and soul that okay, this big thing is happening, and what message would you like to give them, and would there be any slogan for public awareness during this National Infertility Awareness Week for the public?
I just want to say that the road towards fertility could be a little difficult path for some couples. It could be very easy for some. However, there is more joy at the end of that journey. So be patient. It can take some time for you to achieve your goals. At the end of it, I see about 80% couples, going happy with a child in their hand. So have patience, be positive. I would say stick to a doctor for some time. Don't keep changing just because things are not working, because fertility is a slightly slow process and it will happen. So I would say that be positive, be aware, be active, take your own decisions, and I think the success would be yours. So in the end, I think I would like to end by saying that nothing is impossible. It should be I am possible, and so is fertility. So I think don't get disheartened, keep working on it, and you will achieve what you want to.
Ma'am, I think we couldn't have get this a better ending for this. And thank you so much for joining us for this interview, and thank you so much for shedding light on this important things, actually important factor of infertility, which everyone nowadays is coming up with and going through. I believe you are the better judge to judge this, how frequent and how often it is nowadays.
Yes.
And thank you so much for your dedication, for your support, or your work in the society you are putting it for the future and for the present of India.
Thank you so much for coming forward and taking our views. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.